good government relies on public officials speaking up when they witness wrongdoing in the public sector. A strong speak-up culture, together with a framework that facilitates the reporting of wrongdoing, is important to ensuring the integrity of the public sector. In New South Wales, this framework is the Public Interest Disclosures Act 2022, also known as the PID Act. It facilitates reporting of wrongdoing by protecting people who speak up from detrimental action, ensuring agencies have policies and procedures in place for receiving reports, and imposing duties on agencies who receive reports of wrongdoing to take appropriate action to investigate or otherwise deal with them. The New South Wales Ombudsman is the independent integrity agency responsible for overseeing the operation of the PID Act.
The PID Act applies to all New South Wales government agencies and public officials. That includes government departments, public service agencies and integrity agencies,
state-owned corporations,
local councils,
local Aboriginal land councils,
corrective services, youth justice and the New South Wales Police Force,
public schools and universities,
and public hospitals.
Most public officials are easy to identify if they work in public sector agencies. Other public officials include contractors, subcontractors, and volunteers who are engaged to deliver services on behalf of an agency or exercise the functions of that agency.
A public official can make a PID about serious wrongdoing relating to any agency, not just the one they work for. When they speak up about suspected wrongdoing, their report will be a public interest disclosure if it has certain features, which are set out in the PID Act. There are 3 types of PIDs in the Act. The one most people have in mind when they think of a PID is a voluntary PID.
A voluntary PID is made by a public official to the person's manager, a disclosure officer in any agency, or in very specific circumstances, a minister, journalist, or MP. It discloses information that the person honestly and on reasonable grounds believes shows or tends to show serious wrongdoing, is made in writing or orally, and is made voluntarily of the maker's own accord.
The other 2 types of PIDs are witness and mandatory PIDs. A witness PID is where a person discloses information in the course of an investigation of serious wrongdoing following a request or requirement of the investigator. A mandatory PID is where a public official has made the report because they have a legal obligation to make that report, or because making that report is an ordinary aspect of their role or function in an agency.
The head of an agency has a discretionary power to deem a report to be a voluntary PID, even if it was not made by a public official or does not otherwise have the features of a PID. The head of the agency must believe honestly and on reasonable grounds that the disclosure shows or tends to show serious wrongdoing. It is important that agencies recognise when a PID has been made, because they have responsibilities to ensure anyone who makes a PID is protected. This includes protection from detrimental action, protection from civil and criminal liability for making a disclosure, and the protection of information that could identify the maker of a PID.
Agencies need to ensure public officials are aware of how they can take further action regarding a PID. If a public official is dissatisfied with the way a voluntary PID has been dealt with, they may be able to seek an internal review of certain agency decisions about their disclosure.
Agencies must ensure appropriate training is provided to the head of the agency, disclosure officers, and managers of public officials, so everyone knows what to do when they receive a report. Agencies must also submit certain information about PIDs to the Ombudsman annually.
Details on how to make a PID and who to make it to can be found in your agency's PID policy, available on your agency's website or intranet. Information about reporting serious wrongdoing and the protections provided to makers of PIDs can be found in the Ombudsman's guidelines. For further assistance, you can also contact the Ombudsman's office directly.
This video has been produced with professional actors. PID Act 2022 will commence on the 1st of October 2023. The Public Interest Disclosures Act 1994 is still in force until that time. For advice, contact the PID unit at the New South Wales Ombudsman's office.